Last week on the Stick After Dark. This week we're playing Resident
Yes.
Evil 2, the first person mod. We're gonna check that out for a minute.
Resident Evil 2 remastered first person mod
Yeah.
and
Um,
stuff and things.
Hi, I'm Eric. I'm here with Joe, Kurt,
Hey,
Yep.
Kahahafi,
I'm still here.
Polly. What was the nuts thing?
Polly Walnuts.
No, Polly
Snuts.
Snuts.
Polly Snuts. Polly Wall Snuts.
That's snacks plus nuts.
Nuts can just be snacks. You don't have to fucking combine them.
That's like generic then specific in some weird way. I don't get it.
So I have played through this game. Both I did Claire A, I did Leon B. I just finished up Cleon. I just finished up Leon B, which is fine.
Cleon finished up Cleon Little C.
I definitely enjoyed I enjoyed Claire's version of the story more than Leon's, just because I like Claire more than Leon, especially in this game where Leon is so fucking boring. Even though I find Claire's weird porcelain doll face intensely creepy.
It's pretty creepy.
Yeah, it's a bad face. But Leon looks a lot like
when you find out why.
yeah, right, where her face is literally modeled on the face of like a 14-year-old model.
Yep.
Yeah. Or a model that was 14 when they did the art for the game.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the first person. This game is really fucking good. I think we can all agree on that, right?
Yeah, it's real fucking good.
It's a great looking egg sandwich.
Did you do any of the model swap mods yet? Or not?
Is that stuff on the Steam store, or is that stuff?
I don't.
I think you have to go to like mod
because it doesn't have workshop support.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can play as this guy if you feel like it.
Yeah, you can play as like the Kendo gun shop owner guy and any of them. I think you can play as any of the models in the game, right? If you with the mods.
Not all of them. There's like a select few, but this guy's one of them. You can play as a zombie.
You can play as a liquor and.
I don't think you can play as a liquor.
Lame.
Can you play as? Does the zombie have a gun?
Yes.
Okay, good. Can you name the zombie Bub?
I mean, if you want to.
Can you make the zombie make a phone call?
Sure.
So I've beaten the full game, but I have not. I haven't really checked out the new modes that were recently released. I don't have any of you guys.
So I was going to say you can actually play. You can play as the gun shop owner in the new DLC. So. You can play as the mayor's daughter, the gun shop owner, and
not Hunk.
Oh, and Hunk's one of Hunk's squad mates.
That's little Hunk.
And then of course you can play as Hunk.
There's Hunk, Junk, Bunk, Monk, Trunks.
And
they're
Tofu.
like
Also, they released the OG Resident Evil 2 character models, which I immediately turned on as alternate costumes. That was just a thing Capcom did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which was nice of them, I thought.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. Oh man, even in first person mode, I can see Claire's weird square hands. So I played like 5 minutes of this. I'm glad to see that it still doesn't draw the shadow in because the camera is like replacing where your head would be. Also, you can look down and see your own back, which is really good. But this game was not intended to be played first person, so I'll be curious to see how it goes. But I like this game a whole lot. I think I still kind of like Resident Evil 7 more. I think this is a more even experience from start to finish, but all the haunted the haunted house stuff, the stuff that is like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2,
right? Everything up to the last level,
is just one of my favorite things that I've had done in a video game. It's so fucking good. I actually picked that up on PlayStation 4, so I could check it out in VR, and got up to the car fight with
Oh
with
God,
Jack, and it's
I
fucking
can't imagine what
fucking
that's like.
amazing.
The car fight.
I actually got a
The
different.
meter.
I managed to hit and kill him like that way, and like I've never actually managed to do that before. Usually he jumps in and grabs the rest control of the car away from me.
Right.
That's actually the easiest way to do it, is just to just let him do that.
Yeah.
Hold on. Go back. Go back.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, no.
There's so much delay. I'll check it out when I'm going back out.
I'm pretty sure there was a magazine rack full of magazines that were just called Eric. And I never noticed that before.
What the hell is up with you? Yeah, I mean, I love fake food items. What is this one called? Finest meat.
I love that there's like a herb flavored ice cream in the freezer at the front of the store. That's one of my favorite.
There's some really cool cereal box art, but it doesn't actually have a name on it, which is a real shame. What's the corn called? Does that have a thing on there? Yeah. There's no label. I got a key. Some pizza. It's like this Resident Evil engine, the thing that I think that both of these games look pretty nice, generally speaking. Like, hair and stuff looks really weird, but it renders food better than any video game engine I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Isn't that the thing everybody loved about Final Fantasy 15? Didn't people say
That have really good looking food?
Yeah, it had really good looking food.
So yeah, did you get a chance to try out the Gun Survivor stuff, Joe? Or whatever the hell it's called.
The Fourth Survivor.
Yeah, Fourth Survivor.
I did. I finished the Fourth Survivor. It took a few runs, but I was able to do it. It's hard though, and it's.
Yeah, there is a magazine just called Eric the Dragon Slayer. Undercover thrill. They killed him. Oh no, it's a zombie. Get off of me, zombie.
Like, I sort of want to do the tofu stuff, just because apparently when you finish the tofu run, you unlock other tofus who actually have weapons.
Oh, really?
And, like, the latest ones you unlock have, like, kind of crazy overpowered weapons, I guess. So, like, it's kind of fun to be able to do that. But the run was hard enough with Hunk that I just don't know if I could even do it with tofu, because all he has is... He's got a full supply. His inventory is full. He starts with, I think, 2 green herbs, 2 red herbs, and every other slot is a knife.
Right, because the knife is degrades in this game.
Right. Until you shoot all the Mr. Raccoons, then you can get an infinite knife.
I'm really, really liking these classic Resident Evil 2 costumes.
Yeah, I kind of wish the classic voice track was available. I know that would be very difficult. You have to pay all those actors again. But
that's not one of the things that's in. I wonder if that would be something that they could mod in. That somebody could do that, especially if there's no.
I feel like that would be a lot of work.
Mod stuff. Maybe you might be able to just replace. It depends on if these cutscenes are CG cutscenes or if they're just rendered in engine. Because if they were just rendered in engine, you might be able to just swap audio files.
Pretty sure it's rendered in engine since it carries over the models.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You're probably
right.
Yeah.
It's not like Resident Evil 4 where Leon changes clothes very quickly in the.
Maybe somebody will make that happen. That's actually my biggest criticism of this game. It's just that the voice acting across the board really isn't very good.
So I that's kind of true. I think some of it is fine.
Yeah, it's not awful. You know. It would be better. It's actually like middle of the road in a way that really is harmful. Like if it was really bad, then it would work better.
I also think that there's just. I mean, I talked about this when I played the demo and stuff, but it's just like it. Just because of the original and how familiar I am with it, I think it's weird that they swear so much. And like I'm not sensitive. Obviously, anybody who watched the stream know that I'm not sensitive to that, to swearing in general. But it's like, you know, it's just weird to hear Leon being like "fuck,"
Well, the way actually
What the
that's the
fuck?
voice. That's the part of the voice acting I think I like the most.
Yeah.
Is how like delightfully awkward they both sound when they're swearing at the zombies, and how it's just like instead of being attacked by an undead nightmare creature, they sound more like they stubbed their toe in the dark or something. Just like, oh fuck, what the fuck is? Shut up, you asshole! She says as she's shooting a fucking liquor in the face a bunch of times. It's really good.
I'm
Like
curious
Claire
whether-
yells, Claire calls Chief Irons a fucker.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know. Something about it is weird to me. And I thought I would get over it, and I really still haven't, even though I've beaten the game like 6 times. It's like,
How do you feel about Nintendo letting Pikachu curse in the new Detective Pikachu
well,
movie?
I mean, Ryan Reynolds is cursing, and that's just Ryan Reynolds, so it's fine.
The movie is PG-13.
Wait, what does
so
Pikachu
he's
say?
legally-
Does Pikachu say fuck once? Is that because you can say
I
fuck
mean,
once in
he's-
PG-13?
He says hell, but you're legally allowed to say fuck once.
Oh, God.
And the movie is PG-13.
Fucking
So I hope-
let Pikachu say fuck. Let Pikachu say fuck. It's not a regular Pikachu.
Wait, are you making a Blue Velvet reference?
If they
now?
let Pikachu say fuck, I will go see that movie in the theaters. That's how they can get my $15.
You'll pay it just to see
Yeah,
a Pikachu. say
yeah, I definitely would. I'd pay more. I'd pay $30 for that. It has to be in a theater though. It's not. That's one of those things that you don't do that alone in your bedroom at night, because then that's fucked up.
in the new
That's
game.
perverted.
So it also-
So Eric, do you have the classic soundtrack?
No, I don't.
DLC.
I didn't pay extra for the special edition or whatever.
I think now you can just get that one piece of DLC separately.
Some of those costumes are pretty dope too. The alternate costumes that you can get in that pack. I still don't think I would have been happy to pay $10 for it, but like the one where you can be the character from Resident Evil 1.5 is pretty cool, and
Yeah, there's an Elsa Walker skin for Claire.
yeah. I don't
Honestly,
know.
I'm sure-
Abby's been playing through it and giantbomb.com, and she's been like rotating through the costumes as she goes. But I haven't seen any of the Leon ones.
The bit of the Leon ones, the noir one is also good for Leon, but then he's got like an Arklay Sheriff's Department one,
Okay.
which is just like that one's not very good. I don't think the noir one is good though. He's got like a pinstripe vest and his hair slicked back.
Does he have one where he wears a latex bodysuit?
No, he does not, unfortunately.
Does he have a?
But there's a mod where he wears a banana hammock,
Okay.
apparently. So you know.
has the star symbol on it. Too.
Ham hock? What?
It's one of the melee
Wait,
weapons.
the banana hammock has a star symbol on it.
Yeah,
Oh right, I
Nice.
forgot this was
Mr. X
first
has the-
person. Oh wow.
Mr. X has the umbrella symbol and Leon has the star symbol.
Nice. 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 That's good. That's very good.
Oh wow, the animation is like.
Are they all? Is with that mod? Are all the characters like? Is Annette Birkin and like a?
Yeah.
No.
It's only-
Oh
Leon
okay.
and Mr. X.
I think.
There's
it's
also a
only Leon
mod.
and Mr. X.
There's also a mod to turn all the zombies into Mr. X, and you can combine that with the Speedo mod.
Nice.
I was actually going to ask if Birkin wears a speedo as well.
Give it some time.
Yeah, somebody needs to get on that. We need Birkin in a speedo for all the versions of Birkin where he's still wearing clothing
Instead of his Hulk
before he
pants?
just turns into like a totally grotesque monster. Yeah, instead of his Hulk pants.
Whoa.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know that I like this one is hard. It's hard to. The thing that I don't like about this game is that the A and B scenarios are not as different as I think I would have liked. Like in the original, the A and B scenarios have like totally different boss fights.
Yeah.
You know, some totally new areas and paths, and like in this one, they're just sort of like slightly different.
You play as
versions of the A story.
Cheryl, or you play
a little
as
harder.
you play as Ada, and that's pretty much it. Also, the Ada section
Right,
kind of
but
sucks,
in the-
which is a real bummer.
In the A and B game, it's still like the same. Like the Sherry section and the Ada section and is the same in the A game as it is in the B game, right? Like if you're
oh
playing
right, you're saying
Claire
right,
A,
right, yeah.
yeah. I'm so sorry. I'm saying like Claire A to Claire B, Leon A to Leon B are like they're too similar. Like the boss fights are the
It's
same,
only different in like the first hour
right?
or
right.
like 30
who
minutes
talks
or
to
whatever.
Marvin? Like who kicks it with Marvin, and where do you start? And then do you fight like the final G Birkin at the end? And that's like pretty much the only difference between.
Oh, I think my game might have crashed.
But that being said, I still think this is a really great remake, and I would say, like, as of right now, I would put it in my top 5 Resident Evil games.
Sure.
I would say it's up there with the original 2, Resident Evil 4, the remake, Resident Evil 7, like all those are just super good.
Ugh.
It's and it, in my opinion, it does exactly all the things that a good remake should do, which is like it's true to the original in a lot of ways, but it does it differently enough that it was worth doing the remake. Like, there were a lot of people who were like, before it came out, that were speculating. There was talk of like what's going to be in it, what's not going to be in it, what this, that, and the other. And there were people who were like, oh man, it's got to be fixed camera angles, or like, I don't give a shit. And I'm like, what's the point of doing that now? Why would you bother doing fixed camera angles in 2019? Aside from just like as a throwback, like if they want to do something. And I mean, the Resident Evil 1 remake did fixed camera angles, but also the technology still hadn't really progressed in the same way between, the N64 PS1 era and the GameCube PS2 era, right? We're only talking about, 5 years between the original Resident Evil and the remake, and it was 21 years between this one and between the original RE2 and this one. So I just I felt like I was wondering if they would make it in first person.
Yeah, right.
Just
like
because Resident Evil
7 was in first person.
Yeah, right.
I think.
But I'm fine.
I think that they made the right decision making this in third person. Just because of the space that you have to explore is not. I guess it was my controller that was making everything run weird, but so I'm using mouse and keyboard now. Weird. But it seems like it's working all right now.
Yeah. So and there's nice touches I think they did. There are some things.
I really appreciate the way that they differentiate between, like, there's like an easy mode and then there's a normal mode, which is like a modern video game, and then there's like a hardcore mode if you want to use ink ribbons and all that bullshit from the old days, which is great if you want to do that and great if you don't want to do that.
Yeah, exactly. I think I haven't played hardcore mode yet because I haven't picked up the game in about a week and a half because moving from to another state and all that stuff. But I would say that for me at this point, Resident Evil 7 Madhouse is like my preferred way to play Resident Evil 7, which limited your saves and didn't do auto saving and gave it that original Resident Evil feel. So I think probably hardcore mode will be my preferred way to play this one once I get there, but I wanted to do all the scenarios on normal first. And I actually haven't finished Leon B yet. But I have unlocked the infinite ammo pistol and the unbreakable knife, which is the unbreakable knife is very nice to have. That's a real nice.
It's a real knife weapon
to unlock. Yeah, yep, it's a real knife weapon. But
I two new versions of Pokemon, right?
Yes,
Unbreakable knife and infinite
unbreakable knife. Yeah. But I think you're right, Eric, and you and I have talked about this.
I know there's something in here. Let me in.
Difficulty. Yeah, there's a chair holding the door closed, man.
No, not there. You'll see when I get there in the stream. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Shoot the door.
But I think accessible, the option to play how you want to play, is great. And the thing that's nice about this one is I think the infinite ammo pistol you can get without having to play on hardcore. So you can unlock one of those like infinite weapons and not have to go into the ridiculous difficult mode. I think the infinite submachine gun, I'm trying to remember if you need to play on hardcore for that. But that one, even if you do, you can use. Oh yeah, so to get the infinite submachine gun, you have to complete the game on hardcore, but you can still, the rank you have to get will still let you use the infinite ammo handgun to do it. So you can get some like pretty cool bonus weapons without having to do anything ridiculous. But if you want the minigun or the rocket launcher, you have to speed run and get an S+ rank on hardcore mode. So
That sounds like fun.
probably
I don't like that. The
probably not
problem
a
is like
ton of
once you've
people-
mastered a game to that point, I don't know what the fun is in having an infinite rocket launcher, but
shooting Mr. X with an infinite rocket launcher is probably pretty fun.
yes, so.
Pretty fun in its own way. I don't know. I've always liked these games with those. I mean, that's sort of the thing that I love. Well, not
I appreciated those
One of the
types of
things I love about
unlocks in Resident Evil 5 and 4 a lot more because those were more action oriented.
But even in one, like I remember in the first one, like you had to master the game pretty good to unlock the infinite launcher, but it was so nice that in a game that made you, when you play it the normal way, the game makes you feel so powerless. And then all of a sudden to be able to just kill everything in one shot, I just get a kick out of it. So that's, and with Resident Evil 2, the original Resident Evil 2, and maybe even this one too, I guess, now that I'm thinking about it, just the fact you have to run the game a certain number of times pretty much to unlock all that stuff. I don't know that it's necessarily that I want to have those weapons unlocked. It's just that I enjoy running the game. And that, like, the satisfaction of having run the game to that level and then being like, oh, I have this thing. So if I go back and play it, I can just, like, nuke everything with this rocket launcher. But I just like the idea that, I was able to there was a reason for me to play the game this way.
Right.
And like in the original Resident Evil 2, like I think people forget because there's been people talking about like, man, this is really tough to get the infinite minigun. In the original, to get the infinite minigun, you had to beat the game without saving at all. And like you can save 3 times on the run that requires, the S+ rank. You can save up to 3 times, but you couldn't save at all. So if you blew a run trying to get the infinite minigun in the original Resident Evil 2, like that was it. You had to start over from the beginning. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really pleased with this game. Like I said, I've already beaten
Great
it.
video game map.
Yes, I love the map. I appreciate that it tells you when you found everything.
Yep.
So then you're not just like running in circles in a
Tells
room.
you
You're like, what did I miss?
The key is no longer useful, and that kind of shit is really good too.
Yes.
Right. Not even just keys, because the originals did that. The originals told you, this key is no longer useful.
Okay.
But everything,
So
cranks and all that.
But it tells
shit,
you,
Cranks,
and the
tools,
the bolt cutters and all that.
Key
shit. It
items.
tells you, like, oh, this is useful. Yeah. This is useless. So go ahead.
There's some ammo.
So
in here?
yeah, I don't know if I think time is going to tell. Like, there's a recency thing happening right now, right, where I don't think I'd be comfortable saying for myself, like, if I think this is as good as either Resident Evil 7 or the original Resident Evil 2. Like, I think I need to give it some breathing room before I'm comfortable saying either way. But it's like I said before, for me, it's in that strata. I've already beaten it. Like I said, I think 4 times or 5 times. Like I did. I've already like repeated a run and stuff, which is weird that I haven't finished Leon B yet. But I haven't finished Leon B yet.
It sucks to play as Leon. Also, Claire has all the best weapons, so.
Yeah,
Claire's arsenal is just it's more of like a Swiss Army knife of options, and it's also just more fun to use, generally speaking. I'm Leon's like the shotgun is real fun, but everything else of Claire's is. I guess the 3-shot pistol is pretty good once you get it upgraded, but.
Yeah, but Claire has that revolver, that shoot from the hip.
Yeah,
revolver.
it's real good, especially once you upgrade the reload thing. Feels real good.
Yep.
And then
the fast reload.
Yeah, and then the grenade launcher is real great.
All right, yeah.
With the 2 different types of ammo and the minigun. That SMG is like way better in this game than it's ever been in a Resident Evil game, I feel like.
Yes, definitely.
The way you like burst fire with it and just like take out zombie legs real fast is real good. And then you get that 50 clip upgrade for it, and I don't know. Yeah. I thought her weapons were way more fun, which is the opposite of how I would have said I felt, I think, from the original Resident Evil 2, where she had like the bow gun and
the bow gun is kind of lame in the original.
Those old games, the shotgun is the king of the hill, and in this game, shotgun's fine, but it's not great.
I don't know what you have against Claire's face. I'm watching this right now, and it looks perfectly fine.
Yeah, I don't. The thing that I feel like I cracked the ammo making. Like once you, so I feel like early when you first start playing, if you're not playing with a guide or anything, like the ammo system is a little bit like, oh, it's what should I use the gunpowder for? When should I combine it? What should I use? Should I hold on to certain types? And then like I found ways that worked for me to the point where I was like, I don't know. Like when I play as Leon, it's all the regular gunpowders get combined to make pistol bullets, and all the fancy gunpowders get combined to make magnum bullets. And then like by the time you reach the lab, you can just use the magnum to kill everything. And for Claire, it's almost even easier because it's all the gunpowders get combined with all the fancy gunpowders to make acid rounds because it's not worth using the two
to make SMG rounds.
Yeah, the two fancy gunpowders to make SMG rounds. So like you're just make acid rounds, and use the big gunpowders with the definitely use those with the fancy gunpowders. Even if you need like regular handgun bullets, don't use the big gunpowders for those. Use the regular size ones for those, and use the big ones to combine with the fancy gunpowder to make a lot of acid rounds. Because acid rounds are
as Barry would
trivial.
tell you, and they're good against whatever enemies made out of flesh or something.
Right. But they sort of trivialize the liquors in some ways. Not totally, because the liquors in this game are super dangerous.
They're way more dangerous. Mr. X gets all the press, but the liquors are the thing that are like the actual dangerous enemy in this game.
Well,
especially if there's a room with two liquors at the same time.
Yes, and that only happens a couple of times, but when it does,
well, on like Leon B, there's two liquors in this hallway, and it fucking sucks.
Yep. And he's not as well equipped to deal with them as she is, because, like I said, the acid rounds, usually two acid rounds.
Yeah, I found Leon B to be way more difficult than Claire A, which is probably somewhat intentional. I would assume that it might be rebalanced. But I can't say for
the B
sure.
scenarios are harder.
Yeah.
The B scenarios are definitely harder. But yeah, also I like that this game changes up a couple of things. Just like if you're really familiar with the original version of Resident Evil 2, which I've beaten that game countless times, it changes up things just enough so that you're like, and like this is still a pretty new game, so I don't want to get super duper spoilery for people who maybe haven't played it and want to be surprised. But like when you meet Ben the reporter, and like the way that he dies, if you played the original Resident Evil 2, you know that. But the way he dies in this version is different, and I was like, whoa, that's like
zombies.
He made the Black Rob noise. He's like, whoa.
And then like what else? There's another thing. Oh, like the gun shop owner's like very small story arc is like way more bleak than it was in
weird. Sorry about
in
that,
the
babe.
Original.
I really miss the voice acting from the original one.
Mm-hmm. And who else? There's someone else who has like I think they did a good job of making Annette Birkin like maybe
a little more
in Claire's
nuanced
story. Yeah, in Claire's story. But in Leon's story, she's still like, you still kind of read her as this like cold, heartless monster. But in Claire's story, by the end of it, you're kind of like, okay, well maybe she's not a total monster. She's still kind of a monster because this is kind of her fault still, but like she's not without redemption in Claire's story, which is interesting because in the original she is very two-dimensional and she is not redeemed at all. And then there's something else there's just some moments with Mr. X that are pretty great that in some playthroughs I saw and some I didn't like. He crashes through the wall like he does in the original, but I think he has to be in a certain place for it to happen because I've only seen it in one playthrough where he crashed through a wall. Mm-hmm. So I think it only happens in like a certain spot under certain conditions, but it scared the bejesus
there was
out of
one
me.
time where I was playing as Leon and he I did a thing and then he crashed through a wall. He Kool-Aid manned his way into a hallway I was going through, and then I got killed by the double lickers and had to replay that part. And on the second time through, he
Kool-Aid.
didn't do it. So,
Yeah.
which is actually kind of a bummer because, like, was a great moment.
I mean, it is, but I think part of what makes it great is that you really legitimately don't know when to expect it. Because, like, in the original, once you know that he crashes through the wall at that part,
Yeah.
like, then it's not as scary, and now it's really tense in this version. So you're like, is he or isn't he?
Also, I
coming through
also
that
really
wall?
like this has by far the best zombie movement in any video game I've ever played. The way that the herky jerky movement that they have, where they're like falling over sideways and moving erratically, makes it very difficult to shoot them.
Yeah.
Best is when they try to crawl over something and fall on their ass.
Yeah.
But then they're also
yeah,
way
it's
more
very-
dangerous because they can like dive, like football, like Madden football player style dive, where they can like leap like 30 yards all of a sudden, especially when you turn and try and run away from them. Just really, really great zombies in general. I also really like that they're more, they're like more true to what the literature tells you about the T virus than they were in the older games, where you could just shoot them in the head and they would just die. Whereas now they're more like these weird flesh balls that are being kept alive by a virus,
I mean,
rather than a traditional like Night of the Living Dead style zombie.
If you blow their heads off,
Yes,
they still die.
yes. If you blow their heads off, off. Yes, we take their head off.
And they move the way you're talking about their movement. I feel like the someone at Capcom, whether it was the guy who directed this game, whose name escapes me at the moment, or some of the people some of the animators or whatever, I feel like they studied like the Romero films, in the way the zombies move, because they have this very Dawn of the Dead, style movement, which like you said, a lot of games
They just move
don't
very
really
unpredictable.
quite nail it.
Well, yeah, and they're really hard to shoot sometimes.
Yeah.
Which is really a nice change up.
Yeah, and I do have to say, I do recommend. You have to check how much it is, and whether it's worth it to you based on how much you've already played. But honestly, putting on the classic soundtrack setting,
Yeah,
like
you like that a
I
lot.
just found it. I don't know. There's not much memorable. So I did a full playthrough with the new soundtrack. And none of it really stood out to me. I couldn't hum a few bars of any of it.
Just the Mr. X music
know.
is pretty much the only thing that really.
Jack's gonna give it to me.
Yeah, right. When he shows up and they play that fucking
Play that
bomb
DMX
ass
song.
rap song.
Yeah. But the original soundtrack is still really effective, really moody. I mean, one of my favorite pieces of game music, kind of ever, is that main hall police station theme.
Yeah.
And it's still really effective.
It's like the
and a lot of the
bells,
other
right?
pieces are too. Yeah, and the save room, the classic save room theme, which is sort of like the first several Resident Evil games had this sort of like, it was like a variation on a theme, right? All the save room musics are similar, but they're not the exact same song. So how is this first person mod playing?
I think I like it a lot, actually. I might play through the rest of the game like this. It seems really good.
Doesn't seem like it's giving you a lot of trouble or anything.
No. What is...
Which is sometimes the case when you switch
RG? There it is.
reviews.
Yeah, it's a little awkward sometimes. Also, the camera movement's a little fucked up. Like it's like it like makes it's like tracking where the character's head would be moving. Like the camera sway is a little bit intense from time to time, but I'm not the sort of person that gets sick from that kind of stuff, so it doesn't really bother me too much. But it makes it a little hard to tell where you're going sometimes. I also really like that all of the lockers and the safe combinations are the same through every playthrough. So like on your second playthrough, you don't have to look that stuff up or figure out the puzzle or whatever. You can just open the thing and get the stuff.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. There we go. But yeah, I actually think this is a really cool way to play this game, and I am really curious how it feels to be running away from Mr. X in first person. Yeah.
Rhino Nar 14 says, "Hey guys, hey man,
What's up?
How you doing?"
But yeah, this game is much. This is as good as I could have possibly hoped that it would have been.
Yeah. I mean, there was a part of me that was sort of bracing for a train wreck. You know.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be bad, but I thought that it might be just kind of boring. But they have made a very well put together thing. Like I said, when I played the demo, and I still kind of feel this way, that it's a little too slick. It's a little too like put together or well dressed or something. But it's a fantastic remake and a fantastic Resident Evil game. So
yeah, absolutely.
I would love to see. I still don't. I don't know. I would like to see them maybe get a chance to make a real, just like a new Resident Evil game. But I wouldn't be opposed to remakes of 3 and Code Veronica either.
Yeah. I mean, Code Veronica, we've talked about it before, but Code Veronica sort of might benefit them. Actually, I think Zero would benefit the most from a remake, because I think Zero
Yeah, but I don't like Zero. I don't really like the characters or anything in Zero. Like, I don't have any... There's no love for me in Zero that would make me want to play that game again.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Like,
you're not still wondering what happened to Billy Cohen?
No, I don't. I just don't. Like, if I don't... Zero was bad enough that I just left not giving a shit about anything in that game.
It's the only game in the main series that I never finished.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait. Sorry, I never finished 3 either, but that was because I... Yeah, 3 and
You're
0
a terrible person.
Finished.
You should just play through 3. I'll come hang out with you while you do it at some point.
Yeah, I really should. Maybe around Halloween I'll play through all of 3.
I guess I'll ask Joe this question since he's like the Resident Evil guy. Did you find the secret photo in Wesker's office in this game?
I did. I know.
Because they updated it for the game.
Yeah. I know they updated it, but no, I didn't. Because you have to like search the desk like 50 times or something like that. Right?
I don't think it's 50 times. I think it's only like twice now.
Oh, is it? It used to be 50.
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
You get one of the upgrade parts from the desk, and then if you check it again, you find the photo, and they updated it, and it's like they didn't have to do that, but they did.
Right. Yeah. No, I appreciate that. It's just Rebecca in like a basketball uniform or whatever, right? Yeah. No, I think that's cool. They did that, but no, I didn't. I did find the thing that's in Wesker's desk, which you have to develop a reel of film towards the end for. It's much more useful for Claire than it is for Leon. For Leon, it's just a dot sight for the Magnum, I think. But for Claire, it's
some gun part,
what
right?
is it? Yeah, it's a gun part, but I don't remember what.
I think it's the Uzi silencer or something.
Oh, that's right. I think you're right. I think it's the Uzi silencer, which is actually super helpful because that means that you can shoot your gun while you're around a liquor, and it won't.
Yeah, I was going to ask if that actually worked.
They'll be attracted to the bullets, but they won't be attracted to you.
Yeah,
if you hit the wall, they'll run to wherever you shot.
Another really brilliant thing in this game is the way that you basically have to charge your shots by aiming, and they actually do more damage when you do that. I think that's a really great mechanic. Man, there's just a lot of really smart stuff in this game.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it! Told me I could get my knife back. I thought he was dead.
No, just because you can get your knife back doesn't mean they're dead. It takes a lot to actually kill them.
What's knifing look like in first person?
I don't know. I can't get my fucking knife back because this damn zombie won't die.
Pick the other one up that's in the fucking room in the corner.
I don't know how to... How do I go into... Oh, here we go. There's my knife. This was actually how I played through most of the games. I would knock the zombies down and then chop their legs off with a knife.
Yeah, I mean that's a hot strat.
Because the zombies are pretty ineffective. All right, let's go back to Marvin, and then I'm gonna call it a
stream.
We'll call it a stream. This is pretty neat. Like I said, the camera sways a little bit much, but other than that, I kind of think this is kind of a fun way to play through this. I don't know if I'm really ready for more Resident Evil at this very moment in time, having just finished.
History tells us that we're not going to get another new one for like at least 2 years.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what the Resident Evil 7 team comes up with.
Yeah, same. Although I think I'm gonna buy the remake of the original remake yet again because it's coming to Switch on May 21st, and having a portable remake seems like a thing I'd want to have probably. Maybe Resident Evil 4. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna get Resident Evil 4 again, especially since
I don't think I need to buy those games again. I don't know.
Portable Mercenaries.
Well, especially I mean, portable.
If it was the Mercenaries mode from 5, I'd be way more interested. Believe it or not.
That's true. If 5 was coming to Switch, I think I'd be I'm with Eric. I think if 5 was coming to Switch, I'd be like, oh yeah, let's do this. With online multiplayer for
everything is coming to Switch, so don't worry.
Yeah, right. No kidding. But the thing about 4 is
sorry, go ahead, Joe.
The thing that's sort of staying my hand with 4 is that after I downloaded that like 20 gig HD texture pack for the PC version, like I think I want to play the Capcom HD remaster without the new textures. Like I don't think I need that. I don't think I need to pay for that again.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you won't notice on the Switch resolution.
Well,
I mean, well, whatever. You were gonna say something.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what you guys thought of that the Xbox Live and Xbox, like maybe even like some of the games with gold stuff and some of the game streaming stuff
on the Switch
coming to Switch.
True.
Like, what do you guys think about that?
I don't really fully understand what it is. Like I just saw a thing that said like Microsoft says Xbox Live's coming to Switch, and I'm like, what is that? What the fuck does that mean?
I mean,
like,
so if it's just like Xbox Live, like you can just have your Xbox friends list, I don't think that means that much. But it seems like maybe you would sign up for the service and then get access to like some of this. Like, so when Phil Spencer,
people are interpreting it to mean games with. And if it's a streaming thing like PlayStation Now
right.
on the Switch for Xbox, I don't know how well that's going to work.
Well, so right, so like everybody's like that's the thing that Phil Spencer has been, especially on the last couple of E3s and the Giant Bomb streams where he visits every year. That's the thing that he's been talking about a lot on those streams is like they really seems like they feel like the future for them is to make Xbox a platform where you sign up for a monthly fee or whatever, and then you just like you can play a bunch of Xbox 360 and Xbox One and all of the Microsoft stuff that comes out via streaming service rather than
right.
And I mean they kind of already do that right with like Xbox Game Pass and which is like $10 a month.
That's not streaming.
Yeah,
but no, it's not streaming. But that's
Windows or...
so there's like
that's not streaming, and that's
right.
like the EA archive thing, right? That's just that's like you have access to stuff, but still got to download and all that stuff. It's very different.
But the idea that you would pay
running it somewhere else and having to deal with internet
whatever the lag is
transfer of all that shit, right? Yeah,
depends on how good the streaming service is, and it depends on how good your internet is, but. So like the PlayStation Now stuff sounds like it's
I can guess
like pretty good as long as you're not trying to play a shooter or a fighting game.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. So if it's play Gears of War in that way,
it might be all right.
Coffee said that earlier. I'd be dubious about that.
Maybe Gears, like especially if you don't play on the harder modes, Gears is pretty easy and pretty forgiving with how the shooting is. It's not like you're playing competitive multiplayer, which requires a different level of aim. But like for stuff like an Assassin's Creed game, which is the thing that Google was using to test out their service, like late last year.
That would be fine.
Yeah, that should be totally fine.
I mean,
right?
the thing about all these like Google's doing this, Microsoft is
Sony bought
about,
Gaikai like 8 years ago or something.
Right. It's gonna live or die.
Oh look, I can see the walkie-talkie in my hand.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna live or die based on two things, which is what you already said, like the speed of your internet and how fast your internet has to be for it to work. And, like, not have like 20 frames of lag, because then it's fucking useless.
Righto.
Yeah, when they've had people like say, "Oh yeah, it works totally flawlessly." These are people that live like in the fucking Bay Area, right next to where this thing is being tried with great, pipes and all that stuff. It's like, okay, but
Right.
what about random person in,
Say
rural
Oakfield, New
Ohio
York, for instance.
who have,
Yeah.
for example, who who
I mean,
don't have.
you're sort of right between two pretty major cities, though. So
Right, like
like
I have
your
like I
internet,
have
I mean,
decent
you have access to
cable
100
broadband
megs per
band
second.
internet
Yeah.
access,
Right.
but it still isn't like well, I don't know, like I said, I've been wanting to
It's
try, like,
not
you can
fiber,
get PlayStation Now
example.
on a you
Right,
use it
on a
via
computer.
PC, and so I've been meaning to, but still haven't actually had a chance to
But
do that.
the other thing is going to be the selection of games,
Right,
right?
that right.
Like,
Those are the two big things. But I just think
who's on
I think it's
board?
really interesting, and
Yeah.
I think it's really smart of Microsoft to like get out in front, especially on a platform that's as popular as the Switch, and a thing that like people
Sure.
that travel and play a lot of video games, like they're all gonna have Switches. Obviously, like the big competition is gonna be in like mobile space, and Google is like, it actually seems like, depending on like you said, who gets the games, like Google might be the front runner for that kind of stuff. But
Right, because if Google's going to tell me like I can Bluetooth my controller to my phone and then I can stream,
right,
something on
you
the
could play
level of
Resident
this,
Evil
I can
2
play Resident
right
Evil
via
2.
your phone on your TV, then, or in a fucking hotel room
With
or
a
whatever.
Chromecast in a hotel, yeah, or on a tablet, Android tablet in a hotel room. Now, granted, I'm the
Well,
type of person who takes my
but
Switch to a hotel
right, I was
room.
gonna say, like,
but-
Microsoft would probably also have their service offered on phones and Switches and all that stuff.
right, unless Google wanted to be
Um,
dicks and like block doing
yeah.
it, right? I mean, or Apple wanted to be dicks and block them from doing it on the iOS devices and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot of potential there, especially because that reduces a lot of the like tech race in terms of like, what kind of PC do I need to play
Right.
these games, or what kind of system do I need to play these games? But I think Microsoft right now is in a position where the 360 or the Xbox One rather is not doing as well as they would have hoped, and maybe they're thinking about getting out of the
Right.
hardware.
I mean,
business.
that's what it sounds like. They're trying to make Xbox a platform instead of a console.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're trying to get out in front of that in a way that Sony isn't, especially with them trying to put stuff on Nintendo, for instance. But
Right.
I know it'll be interesting to see how that actually plays out, and if the stuff that people are like, it's basically just guesses and rumors at this point as to what they're actually trying to accomplish. But I don't know, I just thought it was interesting. Like it is a move that would totally make sense with everything that Phil Spencer's been saying for the last however many years. But like I said, like Sony has their thing because they bought that company that had the best technology for it a while ago.
Yeah.
And like I said, Google
But I
just
feel like the
Google just
selection-
did a beta test with a really big name game, and it seemed like people
I
were pretty happy
cannot-
with how that turned out. But Assassin's Creed is like,
was the
it was
game?
the most recent
Oh,
Assassin's
Assassin's
Creed.
I cannot confirm or deny anything because I will probably not be working for Nintendo
Uh-huh.
when they decide to make the announcement.
I mean, to be fair, they probably wouldn't tell you about that anyways.
Yeah, I suspect you're.
yeah.
But yeah, I think it's neat anyway. The other thing is, like, I just spent whatever $450 on a high refresh rate G-Sync fucking monitor, so I'm never gonna be the guy probably that, especially for games like this, I'm not gonna be the person that wants to stream, because even you're not going to be able, even if you can stream and make it playable, you're probably not going to be able to stream it at high resolutions and super high frame rates and
Right.
stuff.
Right.
Because that's
It's
where the
always
internet
gonna be better
part of it
native.
just isn't going to be strong enough. Like, just getting it to work at 1080p or 780p or 720p
I mean,
or whatever is going to be a challenge.
I don't
so.
want to be the guy that rains on everyone's parade, but they've done the streaming thing on Switch before in Japan.
Yeah.
And
I
I
thought
think the
people said it
games
was,
run at
like,
like
fun.
280p resolution.
No,
So
Right.
That's not great, I guess. But I was gonna say, I feel like people have said like, it's fine.
The streaming
Because
stuff.
Resident Evil 7, right?
If you live in Japan, it's alright, but if you live anywhere outside of Japan, it's terrible because the Switch Wi-Fi is garbage.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Well, that's annoying.
we'll see how that stuff all plays out, but it's interesting to me.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes.
Yeah. I think giving more people an opportunity to play more games like this is just kind of a good thing.
Yeah.
Although I definitely understand, like when they talk about it on Giant Bomb, Jeff talks a lot about how he just has some concerns that it will push people towards making more games that are a little more forgiving and require a little less precision. And maybe like the fighting game renaissance that we've been going through, maybe that like doesn't happen in a future where 90% of the people playing video games are paying a monthly service fee for like streaming stuff. But
God, I hope we get a break from it. Jesus Christ,
too many fighting games.
They just fucking announced a new Samurai Showdown.
Well, they announced that a while ago, didn't they?
They showed the first gameplay footage of it, and it's also a game at EVO.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which means it's coming out in like a month or two.
I mean, I'm fine with the new Samurai Showdown. I like
It
Samurai
looks real
Showdown.
good.
Ugh.
But Jesus goddamn Christ, there's too many fucking fighting games. Everything is a fighting game now.
Fighting games for the new RPG.
Street Fighter Battle Royale.
I don't think that's gonna last too much longer.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that. I don't think that's a thing we need to worry about too much more. But who knows? I don't know. I think the technology would have to come such a long way and be adopted so widely before people started making games around that, though, that I think that maybe Jeff Gersman's concern is
I don't think it's unreasonable. He's talking like 10 years out from now.
But I think by then the internet and the infrastructure needed running under that stuff would be better to the point where there'd be less lag.
Right.
And
I don't know that I would ever want to.
But
if I was good at fighting games and was worried about like frame data and stuff, I don't know that I would ever be good enough for that. But like I said, it's more just concerned about how people if like there isn't a call for that kind of game because that's not the sort of thing that people are marketing to. I don't know. But anyway, like I said, it's a cool, interesting thing. And we'll see how it works.
Definitely.
But definitely, like that seems like the space where the next big fight in video games is going to be, rather than.
Or maybe it won't be the next big fight. Maybe it'll be the next big piece, right? Maybe that's what brings us closer to the alleged one console future. Although I think that Sony and
turns out the
Nintendo
one
are going to be
console is
duking it out for a really long.
Your phone.
Yeah, I mean that would almost make sense, right? Yeah. I don't know. I think Nintendo will keep making hardware until, until they're out of business, basically. I mean, they've said as much in the past, right? They would have to go out of business before they would.
Stop making hardware.
Before they would stop making hardware, but.
That's why they make the Nintendo phone. There you go.
All right.
Yep.
It's like 20 after 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna bail.
Good night, Kurt.
I'm really tired.
Get some rest.
Good night, Kurt.
Good night. We'll talk
Thanks
to you
for
later.
hanging out, man.
Thanks for having me.
I'll miss you.
All right. This first person thing is pretty cool.